Please move, please move, move as we get ready. Zuma, Honorable yes. This year's August of Honor is in the house. Man from Ombokolo. Ombokolo is a neighbor of Yumbe. Yumbe, where he is going to marry from.
Put your hands together for the seniors. Put your hands together for all our members of parliament.
UPDF, Uganda,
Oh Allah, we thank you for this congregation and for bringing His Excellency safe in our district. Therefore, we are grateful for His Excellency to be amidst us. With this, we thank the Almighty, bless our occasion. This that Yumbe Church right Kalahai, Chica. Takbir! 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 God bless you all.
I want to recognize the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Moses Ali, our elder. Thank you, Mr. President, for keeping him in government. It's with profound honor and humility that I stand today, 23 years since we laid down arms, embraced dialogue, and chose a path of unity, development, reconciliation for our beloved West Nile region. Today, we are not merely remembering a date. We are reflecting on what has happened ever since. We are celebrating a triumph of spirit. We are honoring the courage it took to stop fighting, the vision it took to begin rebuilding, and the sacrifice it took to forgive and move forward together. In that spirit, I remember Afande Kale Kaihura, with whom I came here after I visited Arua in 2002 with General Saleh. It was Kale Kaihura who came with me and met the Secretary General of UNRF2 and the political commissar, which led to the meeting between Afande Bamze and Afande General Saleh. Thank you, Kale Kaihura. Your Excellency, allow me to express my deep gratitude to you, not only as our president, but as a peacemaker and somebody who forgives. Your steady leadership, your commitment to inclusive dialogue, and your willingness to listen, Mr. President, is what paved the way for this historic peace accord signed here in Uganda, in Yumbe in 2002. That peace deal brought together the Uganda National Rescue Front 2 and the government of Uganda to sign a lasting peace. And then after that, also to have a lasting peace with the UNRF 1, with the West Nile Bank Front, and other groups. And there was only one goal: to silence the guns and give our children of West Nile and this country a future. I'm very proud and humbled to have played my role in that journey. I remember too the fear and the displacement and the loss. We lost our own people. We also lost our soldiers who sacrificed for us. I remember mothers feeding children who were not their own. By then, I didn't know how bullets sound because I was a nurse. I was delivering babies and giving injections. I heard something like a whisper and bullets flying. Then the military told me Those were bullets very close. And my daughter is somewhere, the one I was pregnant with at that time. Where are you, Faith? I had to climb a mango tree and sleep in a mango tree at that time when we had the war. Today, we don't have that. We are enjoying your principle number 1 of Musevenomics, which is peace and security. I remember elders refusing to teach revenge. I remember young people daring to dream, even in the dust of conflict. Now look how far we have come. Look at all these people who have come to receive you today, Mr. President. That time you couldn't have that. We didn't have a university. Now we have Money University. The people of West Nile no longer know rebellion. I can only say we can be remembered for our resilience, our recovery, and our promise. We see roads where we had once footpaths, schools where there was silence, clinics where there was suffering, and most importantly, we see hope. Hope, Mr. President. Peace is just not an absence of war. It is the presence of justice and of opportunity, of dignity for all. That is why we must not only commemorate peace, we must protect it. We must nurture it through inclusive development, through listening to the voices of the youth and the women, and by ensuring that no one feels left behind. And we know you have made it inclusive even for your universal primary education and universal secondary education. To our elders, thank you for guiding us. To our religious leaders, thank you for advising us. To our young people, you are the custodians of this peace. Defend it with ideas, not arms, not guns. To the former combatants, the people who fought and then signed the peace, you made a hard choice to lay down your arms and weapons. Let history remember you, not as rebels, but as rebuilders. To our partners in government and the civil society and the international community who walked us during that fragile moment, thank you. Your support in integration, reconciliation, and reconstruction, supported by our government to restore dignity and opportunity to countless lives. To the brave men and women in uniform, I have a list here. I hope I'm not reading everybody. I was going to give it to Honorable Huda. These are people we worked with very closely and many others when we were going through this peace. Your sacrifice and discipline were the silent backbone of our stability. And to all sons and daughters of West Nile, at home and outside of West Nile, this peace belongs to you. Own it. defend it, cherish it. As I conclude, let's remember that true peace is not built by agreements on paper, but by actions in communities. Let us build schools instead of grievances. Let's invest in skills, not suspicion. Let us choose unity again and again and again. And let's bow our heads in honor of our fallen soldiers, those who paid the ultimate price in the pursuit of stability and peace.
Ingoni, Nichia. This for me is really a very happy day, Your Excellency, and for reasons obviously you know, because you are the one who used to send me, who assigned the late Comrade Kano Nasuru and myself to begin this peace process in 1998. So I'm extremely happy because I hadn't been here for almost, I think, 2 decades. And it's like the story of is it Van Winkle, somebody, an Englishman, Van Winkle, who slept for 100 years. And when he woke up, he found the world had changed, had become something else. Even me, I'm like that. When I came, I didn't recognize Yumbe, quite frankly. So, really, it's a happy day. I'm the happiest person. And when I reached here, Your Excellency, I was received like a long-lost son. Andrew Marichoga Yumbega. Let me repeat that one in our language. Andrew Marichoga Yumbega. Those who don't understand our language, it means today I'm home in Yumbe. Iete award for Manzora Ajoyo. I think I'll stop there. Otherwise I may make mistakes. Your Excellency, I want to thank, first of all, the organizing committee for remembering me. But in particular, I must say, because I was deep in some other village, when I saw a message of General Sare, that there was this day, and I'm a guest. I'm actually a special guest with Honorable Koko. So I feel very honored, Your Excellency, that I've been invited, I've been remembered for the ritual contribution that we made in the peace process, and that contribution as a result of your assignment. Because of time, I really want, in my excitement, I could say a lot, because as you know, the process started in 1998 and took too long. I don't think that was your expectation, Your Excellency, when in 1998, you, after the Army Council discussion about the offer of the late Kano Nasuru to come and bring peace to this part of our country, and especially Aringa County. Because I remember, sir, he wrote to you, and in the letter, he had been getting reports, if I remember, that there were some rebels, elements who are coming from South Sudan, now South Sudan, who were infiltrating Aringa County and making it hell for the people. killing their own relatives, the way Kony used to do, General Otemanos. Those who did not agree with them, they would kill them, they were looting. And in fact, this Yumbe had become a displaced people's camp, and people, the people would come from the village to seek refuge in the Yumbe, and only go back to the town, rather to the village for food. So it's very exciting to see that this transformation after the peace process. So when he wrote, he was concerned, and he requested that you allow him to initiate contact with the Bamuze, because those elements were remnants of the UNRF, the original UNRF, and had formed the UNRF-2, based in Rojo, Sudan, and being supported by the Sudan government, or being used by the Sudan government. So I remember you allowed him, and you tasked me to assist him. So my role really was to support the late Kano Nasuru, in terms of logistics, in terms of ensuring that his mission does not fail, making sure that the other authorities in the district don't undermine him. And a lot of my work between 1998 and 2002 was either moving here or hosting the members of the committee which is set up, which constituted the NRA, then UPDF, now UPDF officers, which included Brigadier Ada and others. And really, to cut a long story short, when Aropic was established and began contacts with Bamuze, although he didn't come for a long time, at least peace was restored. There were no more incidents of attacks. But that threat in Sudan remained until, I believe, when you assigned Honorable Kategaya, the late, to coordinate the initiative, and I believe General Sare as well. That's why I think Honorable Koko mentioned it. Then also, because of the Sudan factor, I remember the ESO and the embassy in Khartoum. I remember I used to communicate with Brigadier Karemira, who is here, got involved. So until the two processes of that contact through ESO and the Khartoum embassy was connected to the Aropic, which led to Bamuze and Brigadier Izaga being facilitated to return home. But I must stress that Brigadier Izaga refused to be part of that process. With him, he said, I want to come back and resettle home. I hope he's still alive, I don't know, because we settled him, and at the same time as we negotiated for the complete return of the UNRF-2. So it's definitely, by the time, the biggest problem why the process took long, I believe, because initially there was only basically one demand, that those UNRF rebels who had not been integrated and had gone to the villages had been neglected with their families. That's what I remember in these meetings we had in Aropic, that was the main thing. But then some other opportunists who Kano Nasuru, I remember in his letter warned that we should not involve politicians. Sorry, I'm not making a judgment about politicians. But he was worried, and indeed he was proved right, that if politicians come in, they have got their own vested interests and they may undermine the process. And some indeed infiltrated. So the demands, the initial few demands kept on increasing. until I remember they submitted a long list in 2002, and then Your Excellency, with the cabinet, responded, and that was the basis for the peace agreement. Otherwise, had it remained, especially the elders, I'm very sad that the elders led by Mzee Sadat, that most of them have passed away. But those elders, with of course the people, had rejected any rebellion and were really supportive. I remember when I used to drive every month to Yumbe, I would pass by Arua, and then the businessmen there would laugh at me, thinking that I would never succeed to bring back Bamuzer. So when I told the elders, especially Mzee Sadat, to kind of encourage me, he said, you live with those. When they start laughing at you, you tell them that your name is Guma. Guma in I think Rugubara means laugh at me at your own risk. I will laugh last. And indeed, today we are celebrating laughing last against those who were thinking that the peace process would not succeed. And that makes this day really a day of celebration. I think I will end that. Honorable Koko has paid tribute to most of those who played a role. My only tribute really will be to those elders, especially those who are no longer alive, as well as, of course, the Aropic, who I worked with for a long time during that period, for really their steadfastness of rejecting rebellion and supporting the NRA UPDF to bring peace. And of course, the background was that the major rebellion had been defeated. Only that these were remnants who were still disturbing the people. So I want to thank them and the people of Yumbe and West Nile, really, for supporting us in the effort to pacify this part of the country. I want to thank the late Bamuze. The late Major General Bamuze was really a good man. He may have had his own disgruntlement, but my interaction with him, and of course Your Excellency knows better, he was really a gentleman, but he was being confused. So we must remember him and honor him. Lastly, I should of course pay tribute to our comrades, General Tema and the late General Kazini, General Katumba. You have mentioned it, I want to really repeat. But we must also, their usual steadfastness and leadership played a role. And this, as I end, I want to request the representative of the CDF that really this story of bringing peace to West Nile, just like other places, should be a story that should be documented in the staff college for study, because it proves the correctness of the NRA UPDF ideology of creatively, and because of our commander-in-chief, really with genius, soft power with hard power, dialogue with where it's possible, and force where it's necessary. Award 4.
Greatly humbled and honored to be in Yumbe today, representing the Chief of Defense Forces of Uganda People's Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who has other busy schedules which could not allow him to be here with us here, but he sends his regards and best wishes to the people of West Nile. We are here to celebrate with you this very important Peace Day. The Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs and UPDF recognizes this day very, very seriously. Your Excellency, as a sign that we take this day very seriously, we are here represented by over 20 generals, both serving and retired. Your Excellency, sir, I want in a special way to thank you for your usual visionary leadership, which has greatly united this country. This day, which we are celebrating here, is just a sign of that kind of unity we want to have in our country. Let me also, in a special way, take this opportunity to thank General Salim Saleh and all the commanders who participated, plus ex-combatants of all other warring parties, for the concerted effort they played and still playing in peace building, not only in West Nile, but the entire country up to today. I remember at the peak of LRA war, when we were in Gulu, to be specific, from 3rd to 5th December 2002, we flew in General Salim Saleh from Gulu, and he camped in, those who are in Arua, they know that hotel called Mvara View Hotel. And he labored and met all these people from morning to evening until he won their hearts, and most of that was, I think, the conclusion of making these people agree to work together with the UPDF. As far as peace is concerned, Your Excellency, allow me just to give a quote from the Bible. Those who have the Bible, Romans 12:18, chapter 12, verse 18, it says, "Do everything possible on your part to live in peace with everybody." And this one we are seeing our president is doing, and that is why the country is peaceful. I want to thank all Ugandans, especially the people of West Nile, for the unity exhibited in this event and for being patriotic. This large number you see is a sign that Ugandans are realizing that patriotism is key for every country to have cohesion. It is patriotism which laid the foundation for the peace we are enjoying today. Most people, especially the young ones, are realizing that without peace, there is no development, there is no socio-economic transformation of our country. It is therefore my humble prayer that our young generation follow our path to make this country a better country to live in, for the generation now and for those to come. Your Excellency, sir, I want to inform everybody present here that UPDF has built capacity and capability ready to defend the country and any threat from any border. Finally, I want to thank the leaders in this region of West Nile who embraced peace through dialogue and saved people from unnecessary suffering.
As we celebrate the 3rd annual Peace Day, following the signing of the last peace agreement with the defunct Uganda National Rescue Front on 2nd December 2002. In this regard, I wish to thank the leadership and the membership of the former NRF, led by General Moses Ali, for the commitment to the cause of the national peace and security, characterized by unbending resolve to ensure that the people of West Nile continue to forge a future of unity and reconciliation, sir. Your Excellency, sir, allow me to further pay tribute to the political leaders of West Nile for generally supporting and spearheading our government's program for the socio-economic transformation of the region, and especially for your support that has led to this peace today we are celebrating, which also culminates to the launch of the payment packages to the ex-combatant of UNRF led by General Moses Ali. Your Excellency, this is a major activity that you are going to do today, and indeed, this is almost the last group of ex-combatants that are demanding peace dividends from government. Your Excellency, thank you for considering all the groups of the ex-combatants in West Nile for peace dividend. Your Excellency, the UNRF2 group, you gave them handshake, and the ruminants that have remained, the Minister of Defense is already to pay them. Your Excellency, the Minister of Defense, because of your guidance, has given a handshake for West Nile Bank front. There remains, the Minister of Defense is ready to pay them. Today, we are here to see another very important activity by your support that the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs is going to take. That is the loans for the payment of UNRF. In the same vein, I wish to thank the people of West Nile for coming in unison and as one to say no more to violence and conflict, and yes to peace and security, leading to silence of gunshots in West Nile sub-region. Your Excellency, sir. As long as we choose to continue to walk this path together, our future is assured, especially under the NRM government. Your Excellency, sir, the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a major milestone in our journey towards a lasting peace, reconciliation, and unity in West Nile region. This follows the immense suffering our people underwent in this part of our country, shortly after the fall of Idi Amin in 1979, when most of the population became exiled as a result of this. Starting in the early 90s, several insurgencies arose in West Nile, some of which spilled over to the post-1986 liberation period. In pursuit of the peace, the government signed a peace agreement with the various fighting groups, and any amicable and the rebellions was reached with a resettlement packages, where we want to thank you, Your Excellency. Over time, the NRM government has taken a number of initiatives to ensure a long-term peace, security, and social harmony in West Nile. In fulfillment of the pledges, the government has provided resettlement packages to most of these. This has been done with the vision of better integrating the ex-combatants into their communities by providing them with the resources and opportunities to improve their lives and enabling them to participate more fully in the society. It should be noted that this program has also amplified the effects through boosting economic activity in the entire sub-region, contributing to the creation of a more stable and productive society. So, although the reconciliation of the war has long since receded across West Nile sub-region, government is conscious that building durable peace requires more work from all of us. Your Excellency, before I conclude, I would wish to encourage the members of UNRF2 to utilize these packages to engage in viable income activities generating so far, that through hard work you can commence your productivity, uplifting your livelihood, ensure the welfare of your families, and strengthening your communities more broadly, thereby an important contribution to further cement the peace and the security in the region. Lastly, as in the years to come, look back on this occasion as a landmark moment that renewed our commitment towards a dialogue, respect for one another, reconciliation, and peace as a way of life. By so doing, we shall sow the seeds for the future prosperity of the people of West Nile. I take this opportunity to thank General Salim Saleh, the Chief Coordinator Operation Wealth Pression, and the Senior Presidential Advisor on Defense for his relentless search for peace and socio-economic transformation of our region. Those who sacrificed to bring about the peace led by His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
The NRM always supports the right and opposes the wrong.
Joijolu ini jorari NRM labe ijo muke reteyu atijo njikanariku.
In the last 60 years of independence, we have never let down anybody.
Joy ine doga ili alifaluturo mikaleza dirisi saa maki diwalu sujorisi perendru ibadi bazuruba kunjikanaruku.
In 1962, we did not support UPC because of the mistake they made on Uganda.
Ile alifaluturo mikaleza dirisi yetenda UPC kula iji bakingari kedu jabiri gorurisi.
They misled Uganda to go for federal, which was a very complicated system.
Jakenda amadi Uganda nzrudi joki amu federal galeru amabe ijo tangba tujo korodicha.
At that time, we were with Chiwanuka, who, although he was in Uganda, but he advised against federal.
Josara sidleda renda Chiwanukai jonda baba muki federal galeru.
But the UPC misled Uganda to go for federal, which was not manageable.
Jo UPC mwanda tosibule jojo amuki federal galeru wijo federal ndi chogari choku.
And in no time, UPC was fighting with Kabaka Yeka because of that very point of going of federal.
Josa zemu docha UPC usuki kakati rangingiri Kabaka Yekabe ijoni ndelo luta federal DDC.
In 1966, we did not agree with Obote because of the way he handled that problem, which he had created himself.
Joirido muchaile alfaluturo mikaleza deziasi ijonra upute ni didoni federal ndai abivuli ijo domo cheni mukosaro.
We started working a bit with Obote because we were looking at the East African Federation.
Joirido dozinga uputebe asisingata East Africa larichengo lukengo ni adisi.
But when Amin came to power, we did not support him because we could see that Amin did not understand our vision of a united Uganda and a federation of East Africa.
Jo Amin la dopa momo mpoko kabo yetidiku ito yidetijo kuri ndrijota Uganda abechirolu wo East Africa kada amichikito faludi indre gerisijo diduraku yetito sigerisidiku.
Now in 1979, although we were fighting against Amin, we were not fighting against the people of West Nile. We told our soldiers that the people of West Nile are not a problem. The mistakes are made by a few people who make mistakes, the leaders.
Jo askari itigar bani ba West Nile gade duki gijoruku belara la keka da bazi wererula o ba kiju unji kana diki silejo kinrejo bunjiruni.
If you notice, when we came with the Tanzanians in April, there were no attacks on the civilians in West Nile. We could not agree with the policy of revenge on the people of West Nile because it was not their fault.
Jijozi ufengani e marura matafa ya mirudi sadasi yesigara dayu.
But when UPC remained alone, after kicking us out of the army, they launched a revenge on West Nile people.
Lakini UPC la momo ampoko kabo idoki dorfamo le rikongo fe bata West Nile gadari baru.
That's how our West Nile people had to flee into exile.
Ijo jo sinin dejo amaki ga West Nile gadi amaki donra mujo exile gadi basijo ta oputen lejo mujo mudijo dare.
When we took over power in Kampala, I came up to Kaya and I saw people on the other side of Sudan. I called them. I said, you go and tell the people to come back because the NRM will not target them. And when they came back, you saw nothing happened to the people. Meanwhile, in Lango and Acholi, we also rejected the policy of revenge.
Kala suko zita dova Langoga Acholi gadadi dovijo zita aru femani di.
We didn't agree with the targeting of the Rangi because of Obote.
Jo ama igerisiku ataba aru fengufe balangi baru ijondro puteno era kiseba sijo akibonjila adorvatija kindu tele inga gerisiku.
Or targeting the Acholi because of Basilio Okero and Tito Okero. To that policy of opposing the wrong and supporting the right that General Moses was talking about in his speech now.
Jo, that does singa iti NRM igejong bareteyu ijo unti kanari yetikuri.
So I am glad Uganda now is united and peaceful, all of it.
Jo ido ikosi idan raudida Uganda kuru iti daro pirengoluga iti Uganda luru.
And we are building the institutions of the country.
Jo amado.
The institutions of the country.
Amado ngurupi patape ngoluga sunitangu nidiki si.
You have seen when we recruit the army, we recruit in the whole country on equal basis.
Joti nintelara amajo baki aji eskargado leba fikiriga. Amanga kuru Uganda sipirlaru aduluko lugaku.
There is a quota for every district.
Jo district eloluni ado mbiezi bachi imidi gada imeje manke dipiri ido bachi ado doba kumve bamuki fence kargarga.
We cannot accept to have a tribal police or a tribal army or a tribal security service. I saw today's newspaper.
Joindre paper anduri.
And General Sere was repeating what happened in Masaka and Mbarara during 1985.
General Salim Salela ijondari depi Mbararaga Masakaga sada sunjika naruki njeta andru kivu paper anduriga.
The United soldiers whom we were fighting in Masaka, we negotiated with them, and Mbarara, they joined us.
Joskari yene lefti anda di depi Masaka darki yemo revuga yichi babe dosine di gbejo.
And we formed them in 23 battalion and 25 battalion.
Sidoki battalion kalirti naru azilava battalion kalirti tauru.
Some of the very active generals were in those battalions, like General Oketa.
Jo General Z, Babu da saso ketani diki, Kiandra dosi battalion ni se daga dende.
So that is the line of the NRM.
Jo da dosi ka ngulupupi NRM la mwingo ni ruyare.
Oppose wrong, support right.
Iju unji kanari kiga gaumbe, iju mukere kiga iyayu.
Always.
Udupiri.
Now, because of that,
Dito dijo mindra wada siriga.
this is the progress you see. Now, some of the people may think that we have not addressed their problems, like the former combatants. We have taken time before addressing all their issues.
Ex-combatants and wariki, iju idende ini joriki, unga kiku dukido peresa zoru ine dusiani.
But this is not because we don't want to. It is because of what must be done immediately in order to stay standing up. If you are walking, you put one leg up, one leg remains down. If you say, I want to move fast, and you put the two legs up, you will collapse. So, we shall address the issue of the combatants. But we have to first of all maintain peace. How will you support the combatants if there is no peace in the country now? So that's why we have to start by supporting the ones in the army now. Buying them equipment especially, so that they maintain peace, so that we continue building. But it's not only maintaining peace. How about immunization? Because all the children need to be immunized. The children of the former combatants and the ones who are not combatants.
Ex-combatants,
You are now saying that Yumbe, Aringa, has got more than 1 million people. You remember when I gave you a district, you were only 100,000. Where have the others come from? Were you not marrying in the past? Where were the children going? The children were dying. So the population of Yumbe, population of Uganda has increased because of immunization. Then we had to deal with the connection by road from Kampala to Kaya, to the border here. And the electricity. And the water. So that's why, and the schools. And the health centers. Therefore, if somebody says they have forgotten combatants, it is not fair.
Atutoijongba pirilaku.
Because the combatants also have children.
Aduskulari combatant diki ibanti kivachi.
They are studying in these schools.
Kiva unito uniskulu ngati kegade.
They are going to these health centers.
Kijova yaniru kiva mwirwa jodi kegale.
So that is the issue. The issue is that you can't try to do everything at the same time.
Ijo darare dos gairi. Nichijo kinga piri pale logaku.
It's not good planning.
Adu utitanga mukelaku.
When I stayed in Luero
Jo sanda yu ajo Luero garisi.
for 5 years,
You are daily tow.
I was not on tourism.
Jo endaga tourism gaku.
I was not on holiday.
Jo endava ava lingagaku.
I wanted to capture Kampala, but I couldn't.
Jo ich ilenda Kampala ro lakini ruva gerisiku.
I had to build.
Jo ido do di isi.
So let's accept that discipline of one by one makes a bundle.
Jo ledo ma ikido sira arutanga alomi wa alobedi kiru takedu yoru yare.
And in the Bible, it says there is a time for everything.
Jo Biblia ga jo ijo piriba sachi.
In the book of Ecclesiastes,
Jo buku Ecclesiastica.
I was a member of the Scripture Union, although these religious people don't acknowledge me, but I was a member of the Scripture Union. I was actually president.
Jo ile jo ini urazi ni gerisi Spiritual Union kuni adan si endra si va president lai.
That there is time for everything.
Jo sa piriba ijo chi kan ku ijo piriba sa chi.
So therefore, the time has now come for settling the issue of the ex-combatants. I spoke with Oleru, my daughter there.
Jo ijo izepu lerube.
And I said, we need 26 billion, I think. That's what you told me, 26 billion.
Yes, Your Excellency, sir.
We need 26 billion to finish the UNLF.
Jo wale peririga sende billion kalir dezia ijo do UNRF battery ex-combatants ezi pinir de beritejo West Nile gada pirire.
So I said, for this occasion, let's come with 1 billion and pay some.
Jo ijo dosi and romuju mudigada rega adu di billion ezelo ido dosi bari kufe. Thank you, Your Excellency.
And launch the payment.
Ado sendru ambari kufe ngonyari kifungu la chaini ta muzemu to chelela.
And in the new financial year, which is starting in July, we pay 13 billion.
Jo imbazi amopidisi amadova sende ezeji billion mutitina avasi badi ba impi kufe.
And in the other year, after you have elected the NRM, the next financial year,
Jo atiki the election NRM de niaga gadi bebo adova sende da ba impi da do to sibari ki do fega.
we pay another 12 billion.
Adova sende zi billion mutiti laji badi kufe jo.
We can pay all 26 billion at a go, but we shall forget other things, because the other things, you are not dealing with one problem.
Jo sende billion kalir drezia da tabi go fiago di dara lakini udro fiago di da piri chotiani ijo zidi kitiga adova ijo vira.
So that's why you put something here, you put something there, because you have got so many things to deal with. So I want to congratulate General Moses Ali.
Jo ile tosi urida Moses Ali ki group UTP ibane award for fair.
Because as he said in his speech,
Sasa idi jo ijo ti di jo da rike ga reni.
when we met in Libya,
Sa iyusuju di be Libya ga resi.
we agreed to work together.
Yendara longa ziengoluga.
Then we came and worked with all the other groups.
Yemudo vazinga kurumo zi chida rike be pri yemudo zinga ngoluga.
And then General Bamuze negotiated with Saleh.
Yala General Bamuze, Amutova Senji, Ditigari Baijojo, General Salim Salebe.
So I'm very happy with that. I salute them.
Hold on. We're taking this out of the office. We're taking this out of the office.
NRM! Musata Baba Yoni, NRM! President Museveni! Ayati Museveni! Ayati Museveni! Ayati Museveni! Ayati Museveni! President Museveni! President Museveni!
My name is Obiga Kania. I'm the Minister of State for Urban Development, the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. I'm also a Member of Parliament for Terego East constituency and the Chairman of the mighty party NRM. First of all, I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to God that this occasion has arrived today. In 1979, the people of West Nile were chased into exile when the Idi Amin government was overthrown. The regime that took over power decided that the people were not wanted. And as a result, a lot of killings took place. And following those killings, the people fled into exile in Sudan, and by then Zaire, now the DRC. But you know, when you force a people, they resist, and they decided to resist. So in July 1979, this group decided to form, the first group of resistance decided to form in Yei, in South Sudan. They formed what was known as UNRF, Uganda National Rescue Front, under the leadership of General Moses Ali, and the other leaders were General Amin Onji and Dr. Diko, who later on came to serve in this government. So from that resistance, they were able to join with the rest of other resistance groups in Uganda. And one of them was the National Resistance Movement. In 1986, when the National Resistance Movement and NRA took over power in Uganda, the people of West Nile, through the UNRF, decided to join hands with the UNRF and with the NRA to form the government that came into power. That is the time when the NRM government took a decision that the people must come back. They were Ugandans. They were not foreigners. And so President Museveni invited everybody to come back because it was not peaceful. And the people decided that it was peaceful enough to come back to Uganda, 1986. Then there were some little problems between some officers and others in the NRA. And as a result, another resistance started under General Bamuze. And 23 years ago, this same group, what we call the UNRF2, signed the final agreement with West Nile, with the government of NRM. So, from that time, for 23 years now, we have not had any military disturbances in West Nile, in spite of the fact that in our border areas, like South Sudan, the DRC, there have been disturbances. So it is from that basis that we come. First of all, the decision to say, let the people of Uganda come back from West Nile, I mean from exile. That was a momentous decision. We want to thank President Museveni for that single-handed decision. There were even people in Uganda who decided by that time that actually the people who had gone to South Sudan and Congo had gone home. That was a sentiment. But President Museveni stood alone and single-handed and said, no, these people must come back. And indeed, they came back. By 1988-89, the entire Ugandans were now back into the country. So what are we celebrating? What we are celebrating now is, first of all, that momentous decision for the people to come back. We want to remember our history as a people who at one time were chased out of this country, as a people who resisted and came back in this country. So we want to interact with the government during this peaceful time and chart a course for the future. We want to develop West Nile into a Central Africa market. Central Africa market. We've got good markets in South Sudan, in Sudan itself, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in Chad, and in many other places. West Nile is well located with good infrastructure, and now the national grid of the power infrastructure connected. We are good to go. So in short, this peace celebration means a lot for West Nile. To remember our history, to chart our course, and we are very, very proud of it. Finally, I want to thank the mighty UPDF. The mighty UPDF. Ugandans, we are blessed to have such an army under the command of General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to secure us. As I've said, around us in the neighboring areas, we have a lot of conflicts. But look, even for more than 23 years, we've had peace in this country. So this is something we cannot take for granted. I salute all the UPDF members, and I ask them to continue with this spirit of service to our country. Thank you.